The Persons with Disability Act was passed in 2006. The act received presidential assent on August 9, 2016, as part of measures to assess progress, problems and prospects of the act. The Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations has lined up a series of programs to raise public awareness of the act. Now, in the studio this afternoon to discuss a decade in the life of the Disability Act is Isaac Tugan, Advocacy Officer, Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Coming.
Thank you.
Now, 10 years.
Yeah.
Is it worth celebrating or commemorating in the first place?
10 years. It's worth looking back at what has happened and what has not happened. That is what we will say. And that is the reason why we are commemorating the 10th anniversary of the Act. When you look at the Act, there are key provisions in the Act, especially the 10-year moratorium. It ends on August 9th. That transitional provision, Section 60 of the Act, gave grace periods of 10 years to occupiers or owners of building public places that predated the passage of the Act in 2006. To do or to modify themselves and to make themselves accessible and available for use by a person with disability. That is a key provision. As we speak today, I have not noticed, I've gone around so many places, but I have not noticed any effort that has been made to that effect.
That's why I ask you, is this worth it?
So it does not worth it, but it will coming together and to look at exactly what has not happened and then to decide on what to do. We must find a way forward, and that is why it's very critical that we are engaging the whole of this week. We are having inform the good people of Ghana about what has not happened about, and also we will climax that one with a forum on the 9th of August at Sun Lodge Hotel, where we are expecting the sector minister which is in charge of disability issue, the Honorable Minister Nana Oye, to deliver the keynote address and to tell Ghanaians and the world what has happened so far, the implementation or compliance with the Act is concerned, and now, the way forward.
Now, when it comes to compliance, even though you've touched on that, your outfit personally, you've done some form of education to conscientize Ghanaians on the Act, but do you think that it's been enough? You said you've gone around, yes, you've explained all that, but what, from your point of view, as a person living with disability and you heading an organization one way or the other, how best? Because if, when the celebration happens, the commemoration happens, it goes on, the activities end, how best do you think we can deal with this situation as a country?
Yeah, the issue actually is we do not have a very dynamic body that is responsible for seeing to the implemented compliance with the provision of the Act. It is the National Council of Persons with Disability. But the council is not staff, it's not resource. So it has not got the ability to really act as it should carry out a mandatory function. So I will speak today, the council is supposed to have regional and district branches where to make sure that at every level of society, they are complying with the provision of the Act. But it has not even got one regional branch. It has not got one district branch, which is unfortunate. It's only in Accra here, and at the headquarters in Accra here, only skeletal staff are there, and they are all on secondment, you understand? We do not even have a substantive executive secretary. We have an acting one. I think this is the main reason. The second reason is the absence of the what we call the national standards. For 10 good years, the national Ghana Standard Authority had not been able to develop and gazette the national standards, which people use to really the necessary ramps. So to me, it is unfortunate and it is sinful and it's failure. That for 10 good years, the national standards have not been able to do this. And there is not even authority in the country to ensure that that is demoralizing.
But amidst all these challenges, within the 10 years, how has your relationship as an association with the various stakeholders been? do you have any positive feedback, or were you getting, let's look back, were you getting any positive feedback from them?
We have had a lot of engagement with the various stakeholders. We've even had one of our member organizations, Ghana, started the development of the standards, even up to Uganda and other places. And then later on, that was transferred to pass it on to the National Standard Authority, and not be able to complete that work is a bit it's unfortunate. And they had organized various meetings, we've in participating in the meeting, made input to the whole thing. And that would have fast-tracked the whole process, but that has not been the case. We've had several engagements with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. We had engagement with the National Council on Persons with Disability, even parliamentary select committees on employment, social welfare and state enterprises. All of them, we've had engagement with them. So I think we have had enough, and there had been a lot of advocacy going on the carried out by the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization. I think on our part, we'll be able to advocate and sensitize the people to a greater extent. But the nation too has failed by not educating and sensitizing the people on the act itself.
Now, before I let you go, we're very close to the elections. Political parties are here to come up with their manifestos. But what message do you have for them as an association of persons living with disability? What do you want to see?
We want to see exactly what provision they have in their manifesto for persons with disability regarding employment, the enforcement of the person with disability and the CRPD, the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, as well as education. How are they going to ensure that the inclusive education and as I mentioned, employment is very key to persons with disability, because it is that one that is making them to live within the poverty bracket. Without employment, they cannot earn a decent living and they cannot live a decent life. That is very key. We want to see that in their manifestos. And this time we are very critical about it, so that we can hold them when any of them come to power, that this was your promise. We can hold them.
Thank you very much, Isaac Tugan. He's the Advocacy Officer, Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations.